Good morning. This is Damien in the Average Joe server, and I'm going to do a really quick video. It's probably going to be another short one, but I don't know. I might have enough stuff to talk about. Well, let's jump here in the game real quick. Now, you guys remember me building this trade hall, and at the time I thought it was huge. And I finally actually got it completely full of villagers now. And I've been trading a lot and working on getting more emeralds and, you know, just getting stuff that I need. Like, I've really been trading for these bottles of enchanting here lately. This is my I died box, so I'm actually trying to fill this full because I've added more to the list now. I'm up to 23. And I think that's the highest on the server. But now, let me show you something else. This is half a chest. Well, this is a small chest of just shulkers. This is a shulker box full of shulkers that I made this morning. But that's not the thing I'm going to show you though. That's what I'm going to show you. Now, all this came from a farm, and I'm going to explain that farm to you. But first, I need to explain how that is even possible, and do I can't think of the word. This is not possible in normal survival. This is not possible. You would not be able to do this because you wouldn't be able to get the shulker eggs and you wouldn't be able to get the spawner. However, in the Average Joe server, we do experiments and we test stuff and we add things that other servers, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, whatever. So Kite has added a Kite has added an ability for a Silk Touch pickaxe to be able to harvest a spawner. So if I'm down there and I'm mining and I run across a dungeon, if I have a Silk Touch pickaxe, I can run up there and I can harvest a spawner real quick and I can take it with me. Then I can put it anywhere I want and I can build a farm around it, basically. And the second part of this farm, there is a merchant, a Average Joe added merchant. We have specialty merchants because the merchants in the game suck. So we have specialty merchants, and one of those merchants sells witch eggs, shulker eggs, and wither roses. Now they are, excuse me, they are very expensive, very expensive. So I managed to acquire some, and then last night I ran across a few dungeons. And let me, first off, while I'm looking at heads, this is the head. We finished out the Christmas event, the Christmas Village event, and this is the grand prize head. And it looks really good. It's an elf puppet. And then the next head is a shulker head. I actually have gotten a shulker head. That's really cool looking. So, carrying on with this conversation, um, I managed to get my hands on a shulker egg and a spawner, maybe more, last night with this Silk Touch, and I built this monster. It's huge, and all the buttons. I probably spent 3 hours on just buttons. Let me show you this thing. Um, there are buttons everywhere. Because when I built it the first time, when I actually built it, I just had glass. I didn't have all the buttons, except for I put buttons on the stonework because shulkers could teleport to stonework, and also other mobs would spawn on the stones up here. So I put buttons on those. However, with the new changes to glass, shulkers can teleport to glass. So whenever I first commissioned the farm and I put it into action, shulkers were just teleporting all over the place, everywhere, all over the glass. and I had to decommission it and come up with a different plan. So this is what I did. Now, I have an AFK room down here. This does not work. You have to AFK up here. So I'm going to have to build a room right up here over the top of the spawner, somewhere up here to AFK at. But all those shulkers in that chest, this was 6 hours of AFK at this farm. And that's how many shulker shells it dropped. Plus the ones that I made. Look, there they are. And they're teleporting. You can see they're teleporting to the stone. Except for that one I made. Nope. He's on the stone too. And when they open up, the cactus damages them. And that's why I need to have the FK room up here, because when I'm close, they open up. When I'm down there, they won't open. They'll just sit there. But when I'm up top here, closer to them, they open up and they take damage. And they keep spawning in. Of course, it's a spawner. Of course, they're going to spawn in. But when they spawn, I got buttons all over this too. So when they spawn, they have to teleport. And I've made it where the only place they can teleport to are these stone columns right here. And each of these stone columns is right next to a cactus. So when they spawn in and they open up, they start taking damage. And it's a pretty decent spawn rate. And I usually have the volume off because it can get kind of hectic there. But then once like when I'm finished AFK and I come down here and I got 2 little chests. There's a shell there. And no shell here. But that's just, that's just 5 minutes of showing you guys this farm. And what happens is whenever they die, their drops fall into this water stream and go to this hopper. Go to these hoppers, I should say, and then into the chest. So, now, I will credit this because I did not come up with this at all. I watched Exuma do this build in the end. Now, this one has more hoppers because the water flow was off a little bit somehow. I don't know. Water flow still kicked my ass. But this one has a few more hoppers than the other one. But on his patron world, where all his patrons are, they built 2 shulker farms. And this was sort of the design. This is not an exact replica of Exuma's. But this is the concept of Exuma's farm. The spawner in the middle, the cactus, all that's all Exuma's stuff. I tweaked it a bit to my, misunderstanding on how to build stuff. Because he only went 12 high, because then the shulkers wouldn't teleport beyond 12 blocks. So he did 12 high so they wouldn't get on the sand down here. And then, he did water streams out to a hopper in the middle out here, which is what I attempted to do. If you see these 2 lights down here, I had a hopper and a chest down here. And I attempted to do the water streams, but my numbers aren't the same as his numbers were. So I had to do something a little bit differently. But the credit will go to Exuma because the idea, I got it from watching his video. This is not mine. But it works, and I was very impressed. I mean, as a matter of fact, I asked Kite right off the bat, I'm like, is this kind of, possibly going to break the game with, if I AFK here and all these shulkers and stuff? But since we're mostly in, more late game stuff, it's not going to really hurt. Now, if it was the second day, hang on. Excuse me. Weather's a little weird and I'm sneezing and kind of stuffy, but sorry about that. If this was the second day of the server, this would be way overpowered. But there's no way to get this in the second day of the server. Because like I said, you have to have a silk touch on your pickaxe first. If you don't have silk touch on your pickaxe, you're just going to break it. So you have to have silk touch. And then you have to have the ability to, be able to build something. Now I've got some witch eggs too. I bought multiple eggs, and he told me just to take a witch egg and build a little spawn room, and on the floor put wither roses all over the floor, and then just have an AFK room, and the witches will spawn into the room, and the wither roses will kill them because the witches have no defense against the wither effect either. So I mean that's glowstone, gunpowder, and all kinds of stuff off witches. So that's something I'm going to work on next. It's just a witch spawn. Um, I'm just very interested to see how that's going to work, because I mean most of the time whenever somebody mentions witch farm, you're talking about a fucking or freaking sorry, you're talking about a freaking area that's an entire chunk pulled down to bedrock and all that stuff, kind of like the slime farm over there. But yeah, we're gonna definitely look at this Silk Touch getting spawners a lot, because I'm not sure if it's gonna just be something that we all want, or if it's too powerful or what. Right now, in my mind, it looks to be really, really powerful, because in this instance, you can just get a spawner and you can build it in your backyard. You don't have to, like right now, Green Olive has two spawners, and they've built a nether portal to be able to get to their spawners and start working on them and building them, and they're going to build them together, and they had to travel way out. They had to do all this work to be able to build this double spawner. And with this concept, it takes that away. And to me, that's part of the game. That's part of the game, is actually finding those spawners and then building your farm around them, and traveling away from your comfort zone maybe to be able to do it. So it's something I've got to look at, but it's definitely different than other servers to be able to do that, and we always try to be unique, but I want to make sure that we're not, you know, um, getting too far away from your basic Minecraft, um, because you have the ability in the game to build something, like this, and have a mob spawner or something like that. You don't really. I mean, I've never seen anyone in the game build a shulker farmer, a shulker farm like this uh, on, on a regular server. It's just not. It's just not possible, because you can't get the spawners and you can't get the eggs or anything like that. So it's just something that I want to look at and think about. But I like it. I do like it. It solves the problem of having to purge the end uh, this season for sure. Because if somebody needs shulker boxes, they come over here and they AFK for 6 hours, and the next day they got a ton of shulker boxes that they'll probably never go through all of them. Or they just go to my shop and buy them from me for cheap. But yeah. So that's the farm I built there, and I'm going to do a witch farm because I have the eggs. I don't want to destroy a bunch of stuff, so I'm done flying around for right now. Oh yeah, and I bought a bunch of heads. Kite got the heads up. There's a Rubik's Cube. I love the Rubik's Cube. There's a skull. Um, Computer right here. Where's my coffee pot? Coffee pot. Coffee pot right here. This is my coffee pot. So yeah, quite a few heads there, and I showed you the shulker. Now what I'm going to do, I know I'm going to show you the eggs and stuff, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange all these heads by, like, this is the redstone section, or whatever, and then the food section, and then the holiday section, and all that. I'm going to rearrange a bunch of them. So, yeah, I was showing you, not the animal. This is Damien's box. It has all its good stuff in it that he protects with all of his cat's lives. But I have 16 and 16 witch spawn eggs. So that would be 32. I don't know why they weren't stacked like that. And I got 36 shulker eggs. This is what I purchased from the merchant. And then I have 24 wither roses. These things are, I think it's 6 or 8 cost you a stack of diamonds. So these things are very expensive. These are half a stack of diamonds a piece. So I blew a lot of diamonds, and thinking back, I don't know why I bought over 30 of these things, because there's no way I'm ever going to use them. I guess it was a kid in a candy store thing, and I just bought them. But yeah, here's the spawners right here. And when you place these things down, they're a pig spawner. If you've ever watched 2B2T, you know what that is. So when you place these things down, they're just pigs. They're and they don't summon pigs. They're just excuse me. They're just pigs just floating around in there. So you have to have an egg. When you place this down, in your farm, after you built your farm, you place this down and you pop it with an egg, and that's what it starts spawning. So that's how I wound up with a shulker farm out there. And like I said, I've got to give it some thought. There was something else I did want to show you. Let's see, we finished the Christmas event, and I showed you the head over there. I actually have started making a bunch of these. Now, I'll show you how I'm actually doing that. Let's go. Small one, add one. Now, I told you in an earlier video, Kite put the recipe back in the game because I thought it was stupid they took it out of the game. So we do have an active recipe to make notch apples, to make the enchanted golden apples. Because I couldn't see why they would want to take that out. So now I opened the stock exchange yesterday. And basically what this is, 1 diamond block for 4 gold blocks, 1 emerald block for 2 gold blocks, 32 diamonds for 3 stacks of gold bars, 1 stack of emeralds for 2 stacks of gold bars, 1 diamond for 4 gold bars, and 1 emerald for 2 gold bars. I want gold. And I already had some trading in here to get me some gold. But this actually pretty much broke the bank. And I've had to do a lot of trading with my villagers again. Anybody? Nope, nobody's grabbed any mushrooms to snack while they were here. But that's okay. And then over here with my shulker boxes, I'm going to drop that from 6 diamonds down to about 4 and fill this thing up. But yeah, that's my stock exchange, to try to get gold so that I can make golden apples and enchanted golden apples, because it's part of my plan on this dying number up here, this number 23 that you can see at the top of the screen, is actually the notch apples, totems of undying, and then when I do die, the bottles of enchanting to get my levels back up. So that is pretty much my plan. I've just got to farm all the stuff up and farm all the stuff up and make it happen. I think this is a glass. Yeah, this one's the one that sells glass. This one's not OP at all. Kite? I forgot that when the merchant leaves spawn, he does the kill animation on it, because that's the only way for it to leave spawn. Well, I got it on video. Let's go in the Hall of Heads real quick. Of course, the player heads over here, and this is the gotcha and the gotcha heads. We've still got future plans here. New Year's heads are coming. But over here, Kite finally was able to get work done. And I have to come get all of these. These are the ones I don't have. These are the blockheads right here. Of course, diamond blocks, lapis, redstone, gold, iron, glowstone, and then, of course, the ores. So I'm going to have all these. These are the ones I got yesterday. These are just the blockheads. I got all those, and then I have all the food ones, and then I finished up and got the rest of the redstone heads that I needed. Um, and there are mobs in the game that will drop their heads. You saw the Shulker head, so he's added a few heads here and there for that. But I'm a head collector. I've always enjoyed that aspect of it. Always. I've always liked the idea that I can kill a mob and I can get a head off of that mob, and I can display it as a trophy, or I can come buy these and I can use these as decorations, or anything like that. I've always enjoyed that. Some people aren't really that into the heads and stuff, but last season the viewers really liked the heads part of it, and now we have the player heads in here also. Um, Now we have a couple of Alex's, but and one Steve over here. Steve looks, well, never mind. But most people were into the heads actually, and with the armor stand stuff that we can do, um, we can set up the armor stands and put the heads, and just have a really good time with it. So I just wanted to show you guys the farm, show you the updated heads over here, and all that, and I'm keeping the content coming, guys, and I will show you a witch. I'll show you a witch spawner next time, because I'm going to work on that some today. Oh yeah, I built a beetroot farm down here also, a villager farm. It's not producing as good as the carrots, but it took the carrots a long time to actually start producing. So I'm keeping my eye on it. And I know you guys have heard cats everywhere. There are cats everywhere in my place. Everywhere. I've bred a few of them. They just keep showing up. I don't know if it's because I added more villagers or what, but they just keep showing up. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Hang on. Excuse me again. That's going to do it for today. I'm going to keep doing some trading over here. When these crops are ready, I'm immediately going to start trading and get more emeralds up. I want to get that stock exchange rolling. I really, really need the gold in here. We found 2 mansions. We're going to raid those. And I'm still looking for the raid tower thing, where their home is in this tower, and possibly build a raid farm there. That's a good farm for totems of undying too. So that's something else I'm looking for, but we haven't found one of those yet. But anyway, that should cover everything for today. I'll be back at you with another video soon. This has been Damien, and goodbye.